Very
Oh,
cool. Excellent. Gorgeous.
oh, look at that. Interesting.
Wow.
Sure is beautiful. Ah, look at that. Yes. Interesting.
Wow. They are throwing an obscene amount of water in here.
Guess who's coming to sauna? Hekilunta. Guess who's coming to sauna? Hekilunta.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Upper Bench. Here we are today, as always, with Eero and Risto. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Risto. Remind me again.
We're gonna look at some more Yooper saunas, which is
Oh,
always
yeah.
an adventure.
Awesome. Awesome. Eero, how are we? You got a new backdrop there.
Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful picture. It was made by an artist that actually I knew extremely well. She died in 1995, so it was a long time ago. But it's a like little surreal kind of a picture, and yeah, yeah, no, that's I enjoy that a lot. I hope that I'm gonna take that with me when I come back to the United States. But life is good. I'm gonna meet some of the International Sound Association people on Wednesday, so that's
Very
also
cool.
very nice. But yeah, Yooper Saunas, the very deep down core American saunas we're going to be looking at, and very unfortunate for people who are only listening to us today. So maybe you want to stop right here and get yourself in front of a screen so that you can see the pictures that we're going to be looking at as well.
Yep. And I always want people to look at these because it's in all of the United States, it's one of the areas where sauna is most woven into the fabric of how they live. And it might break a lot of the rules that we see people arguing about online, but you can't argue about they have a real deep sauna culture up in the UP.
I love the DIY spirit. I know I talk about this a lot, but I love the ones that people are really getting out there. They're going to Home Depot, they're going to their local lumber mill, they're going wherever, and they're putting it together themselves. It even they might get some things wrong, but I love the spirit. I love getting out there and talking to these people because they're like, oh, I found this really cool wood, or hey, I really wanted to incorporate this handle that my dad whittled in the sauna. That was the only piece we could save. It was burning down and we ripped the door off quick. It was an old smoke sauna or something like that, and I really wanted to incorporate that in my new sauna. So I love seeing old meets new, but I love seeing the budget DIY builds too that are, hey, I had $500 and that's all I had, but I wanted to make the coolest sauna that I could. And hey, and we talk about this a lot. If it's your sauna, it's probably the best sauna you have ever been in, and you're going to make it that way. So, kudos to you on your sauna journey, and hopefully you can get the best out of it.
Yeah, and that's how you know it's really part of the culture is like so these are all from Zillow, these are from real estate listings and there's just so many one and almost there's almost not two of them that are the same. And like you said they're very DIY. So I can go ahead and share my screen and we'll take a look.
And many of these have been loved for decades, so they've been around for a very long time, I guess.
Here's one.
Okay.
It's outdoors. I think it's in town. It doesn't look like it's in the country.
No, this looked like this is probably an old garage that somebody converted, or maybe it was a standalone structure, a small cabin at one point. It looks bigger probably than it actually is, but I mean, yeah, the I love the tall pitch. I mean, you're never going to have water problems.
No, no,
Look at the size of that sauna and look how nice that sauna is in comparison to the house. You know, that sauna is pretty large.
look at the gutter that it has and the how they collect the water into those. So that water is going to be used in the sauna. So that tells you something that it's the real deal.
So here's the inside.
Excellent. So yeah, this is a lot of brick, and then looks like, yeah, a little water tank, a little for hot water. I would assume it's either piped in through the hot, the hot box or the,
Yep.
combustion chamber or not, but probably,
Yeah, it probably has a water jacket on back. Almost all of them do,
yeah.
where it just
Yeah.
has the pipe that runs in there, and then the stove
Yep.
heats it up.
Look at the stove. It has been glowing many times over. You can
Yeah.
tell that it's been red hot.
Yeah. I would probably add some stones. Stone, the rock mass there, at least on top of the stove, is looking a little weak, but with how much, masonry is around, I mean, you're really, this is a borderline banya. This thing is getting warmed up early in the day and probably stayed heated all day.
Yeah, that's probably good heat. And you
Yeah.
mentioned the banya. That's where when people make like a real distinction between banya and sauna, I think those lines blur a lot more. So
Hmm.
when you get into the small personal size banyas, they look a lot like saunas, but then there's also a lot of saunas that look like banyas, especially a large public one, or in this case, this one,
Is there any wood paneling? Oh, there is. Okay. This is the same sauna, right?
same sauna.
Okay. Interesting. So it's got partially, it's brick and partially
Yeah.
wood paneling. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah. Those buckets are there for a purpose. The
Yeah.
water heater is there too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's like three 4 to 5 gallon buckets and three different ladles. And in this case, the ladles didn't cost $150. These are just little camping pots.
Well, and you can go to the grocery store and get yourself a plastic soup ladle if you're on a budget, and it'll work just as good.
Yep.
Is it actually do they pump water? Is that the hose? Is that the handle is there? Okay, so it's the real deal in every aspect.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got to imagine that pipe handle gets a little warm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you just pour some of that water over it to cool it before you use it. Or maybe you pump most all the water that you're going to need before you started a sauna. So
Yeah, exactly.
Most likely, yes.
So that's that one. I don't know how much this house sold for, but it's probably not a lot. But it came with a great sauna.
Oh,
That's
absolutely. I would be pumped if that was if I was looking for a house and that was an add-on, that would definitely that'd be a plus. I think it'd be a lot of fun to go in there and see what you could do to make that sauna your own.
I probably raised the benches.
Yeah, yeah. Is that pine? Is that pine? Both the benches and the paneling? What do you think?
Yeah, the paneling does look like, yeah, a spruce, knotty pine. It looks like it's in good shape though. It looks like that the wall cladding probably had been redone at some point not
Yeah,
too long ago because I don't know what the ceiling looks like. We didn't really get a good picture, but it does look like a much darker wood on the ceiling. Maybe that's due to more of a smoke from the thing. It does look like it's putting off a good amount of heat. There could be discoloration on the ceiling.
yeah, yeah. Looking at the heater, there's been some Fahrenheit at play.
Yeah, they burn it hot up there.
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
All right. So let's see. Let's see. Is this? Yeah, we can do this one.
Oh, I like that one.
Stoves off to the left there.
Yep. Stoves off to the left. Looks like a water jacket, but then also a lot of large buckets for washing with stairs going up to the seating area. But then, and this is very traditional. This is like old Finnish, countryside farm where you have the dedicated washing area off to the side.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And the height, what would you say, 10 feet maybe? What do you, somewhere there it might be?
Maybe 9.
Yeah, maybe 9. Yeah,
I like the platform. I love the stairs up to the platform and then the seating there because, the platform raises you up to in line with the stove, it looks like, and then you're sitting, right in that perfect zone. So I do like where their bench height is at. And I mean, if you are going to use a sauna for, actual, cleanup area in this case. I think this is done very well layout wise. You're going to be over by the stove. You can throw a little steam, stay warm, but you're not way up high, because you're going to be splashing a good amount of water around. You don't need to be up 5 feet off the ground throwing water over your head. You can be low to keep some of the splash down. I think this is great.
And the hand/slash footrest there on your right, that's important for some people. And I like it. Yes, up
Mhm.
there, that's excellent.
Yep, that's very traditional. Here is, I think this is coming in. So this is the where you feed the stove. And
Okay.
changing room, they have the candle window. This is the changing room for that one.
Okay.
Very big fan of the feed through the wall stoves. You're really minimizing your mess in the hot room. Um, I don't have one even in my wood burning stove, and I wish I had gone that route. But if you have the ability to, early on in your design, I can't speak, more highly about feeding it through the wall.
And then there's the outside of that one.
Okay.
So,
That's nice, compact. I'm always surprised with many of these North American saunas that the dressing room is so small. It's almost like an afterthought that even though in this case, as Sam so well said, they feed the fire from there, but it's kind of small. So, but I guess you don't need a dressing room when you have the main house. You undress at the main house, and then you just bring yourself basically into that space.
yeah. All right, let's see the next one. Here we go.
Okay, it's a nice shower.
Yeah, so this is the shower area outside of the sauna, not in the sauna. 70s, 80s kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, a lot of tile, but hey, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Then this is inside that sauna.
Oh wow, that's an interesting setup.
A unique bench design. You're really kind of taking a single step up to an angled platform and then
Mhm.
a U-shaped upper bench with these kind of pointed side triangles. The height looks good on them. I mean, it looks like you're getting up there off the ground a good ways.
Yep.
I don't know if I can. Again, though, with a large platform like that, looks very solid. I don't know how the airflow is in and around that.
There's some gaps.
Yeah. What's up there at the ceiling?
Are you talking about the window?
No, no, smack in the middle of the ceiling, smack in the middle there. Scroll back
Oh,
to the right.
is that a can light?
Maybe it used to be, and it looks like maybe they just covered it over.
Okay.
They, yeah, they do have, they're getting light in the candle window. You can see a small kind of red light.
Yeah.
Then
And
they
if
also
if
have this
those
beautiful stained glass.
yeah, if that opens or if I don't know if that smoke or that candle light window if it opens or not. I'd be interested to see what kind of ventilation is up there, but I really think this is unique. I think it's yeah, somebody spent a good amount of time on it.
And what I like about this one is the mood in here. Like it's very cozy. You're going up into kind of your little cubby area up, you're up high. And
Hmm.
then it has the stained glass window in the background that's giving you kind of this blue light in the sauna. And it has kind of a darker feel to it, a darker mood, which a lot of older saunas did. It's very different than the modern giant glass
Hmm.
wall sauna feel inside.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Risto. I'm a big fan of a dimmer sauna. I don't need a lot of bright light in the sauna. It's usually that helps me kind of relax a little bit more when it's a little bit dimmer. So I kind of diffuse a lot of the light into my saunas just through some opaque glass block at the ceiling. And it's just enough light so I don't, stumble or I can see what I'm doing. But I do like this sauna, Risto. It's really unique. I think you could probably get 4 or 5 people in there pretty comfortably.
Yep.
It's true. That's true.
All right. Here's the next one.
That is an interesting setup. And again, there's a brick wall, and there's that ceiling is interesting. It sure has a lot of rocks.
Yep.
So you,
And wood burning in someone's house.
Yeah. Wow.
That got grandfathered in, so never take it out because you're not going to be able to put a new one in.
That's true.
Wow, that's super. I don't know if that's it. How I don't know what the ceiling height on that is. It looks rather low, but I
Yeah.
bet you that thing gets hot.
Yep. And
Yeah,
you
it's,
can
it's
see
one level.
yep, just one level to climb up. You can see the shower area off in the back.
Okay. Oh yeah, and it's open. It's always open. Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah. This is a DIY kind
Special.
of
Yep.
a sauna. Yes. Yes. Wow. And that's just the walls are basically coming off almost.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it looks like they painted the concrete at some point, and then painted concrete is gonna probably, yeah, deteriorate over time if you're steaming it up in there.
Yeah, and this reminds me of there's a famous Finnish sauna called Eero, you'll have to correct my pronunciation. What's that
Yeah,
sauna called?
Rajaportti, yes.
Rajaportti. And
Yes.
those saunas might look to the new sauna initiates, they might look a little scary, like it looks a little kind of rustic and maybe not the nicest sauna. But the more saunas you use, you discover like some of these ones that don't look super fancy and modern actually can give you a pretty good experience.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. The more the sun has been used, the better it probably is.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is one where I would be interested to try it and just see what it's like.
Those walls look interesting, by the way. There's like kind of like a little glossy kind of a feel to those. So I hope that
Yeah.
they don't have any lacquer or anything on them. You know, they're not stained. I can't tell.
So yeah, word to the wise for everybody listening. If you're thinking about treating the wood inside your sauna, don't. Leave it bare, leave it natural. If you're worried about leaving your wood natural or bare inside your sauna, you're probably using the wrong wood.
Here's another one. This is an electric one.
And we've seen similar to this, the first thing people are going to be like, "Oh man, there's a shower right there in the hot room." But look at the floor. You've got a completely tiled floor. Looks like that tile comes up, some. You would be able to run that sucker on full blast and have it just be like a shower. So they've cared for the water use, and if you can, why not?
And it's very much of like what they do there. Sauna is very much bathing for
Hmm.
them.
And if this is, I would assume, I don't know if this one is attached or in a basement or in a separate building. Maybe, yeah, this looks like it's probably built into the house.
Yep.
Um, but you might have a guest over, let's say you've got a 1.5 bath house and you've got family over. Somebody wants to, maybe they don't want to go take a full-blown sauna, but they want to go shower. Guess what? You've got a shower right there.
Yep.
Something that interests me is the size of the heater. It looks a little small for the space.
Yeah, it does.
It's like maybe a Harvia. I can't tell, which is a little rare up there.
It's probably the third or fourth heater that has been on that wall, and who knows how many times they've redone the walls, but this has definitely seen some use. So kudos to them. It looks clean, but you can tell it's getting used.
Yep. Here's the changing room. Outside is so it's a plastic Vita.
Ah, look at that. Yes. Yeah, that was kind of a fad. Maybe people are still buying those probably, but that was a fad a few years ago. You don't have to go outdoors, and obviously, they're probably not. Well, I don't know about Upper Peninsula. Do they have a lot of birch trees there? I guess they do.
There's some.
Yeah, I think cedar is what ended up being the most common that they would use up there. Because you could get it more year round. So here's one. This is, I think, just the outside. I remember this house had a lot of wood paneling and woodworking. I think the person that owned it was a woodworker. And then this is inside of that one.
So it's beautiful. There's the footrest again.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, the size looks kind of okay. I mean, the heights.
Yeah, and it's pretty large. I mean, this is a lot larger than you would find in most houses that had a sauna built in.
Yeah, and that more traditional stepping up and a long bench and there's a railing. This is it's well done. All of this I really can't I don't really have a big complaint. I can't see anything majorly wrong. The looks like I don't know if that's a water pipe above the
I
heater
was,
though.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, that's interesting.
Do you see what's going on?
So are they doing like a slow drip?
No, no, there's over to the left. See that string on the wall?
Ah, okay.
So you can just yeah, like a little automatic flusher so you can
Yep. You pull the string and then it sprays water onto the rocks.
wow.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
that's somewhat of a thing up in the UP. I've used a sauna up there one time where they had, the old school doorbells or the little buzzer,
Yep.
buttons. They had them on the upper bench, like right where your like legs would be hanging over. They had three of those, and you push the button, and it would release water into the rocks.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty common. Well, I wouldn't say it's common, but that's happening, back home in Finland as well. And obviously we've seen a lot of pictures of the broken kettles. The same idea. You just put it on top of the rocks, and the kettle will just keep dripping the water.
Yep.
So that's a poor man's buzzer.
So now
Okay.
this one I wanted to show, nothing super exciting. It's a barrel sauna, and there are barrel saunas in the UP. And someone might wonder, like, why would they have barrel saunas if if they really understand sauna deeply up there, why would you have a barrel? Well, I think the inside of this barrel sauna is going to look a little different than what you're going to see in California,
Oh, look at that. Interesting.
which is, there's five buckets in a huge pot in there.
Yeah, they are throwing an obscene amount of water in here.
Yeah, and washing up. Probably,
Yep.
a lot of that's for washing
Oh
up.
yeah. And and you can tell, I mean they if you go back a picture, Risto, on the exterior, they've raised this sauna up off the ground. I can't tell what's going on, but I got to imagine there is a drain in
Oh
that
yeah.
in that floor. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's in beautiful setting. This would actually probably be pretty nice to use to sit outside in your birthday suit amongst
Hmm.
the pine trees.
You get it good and hot in there and you're throwing good steam, good friends, by all means, sign me up.
What's interesting about this that there's no roof, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is going to be a tough sell over time. Yeah, because a UP snowfall winter is going to have its way with this sauna.
Yep. Yep. Well, the next one will have a roof for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at those marks. Interesting.
So this is the
Oh,
walkway into that one.
wow. That's a good fire stack. I can appreciate a good fire stack.
Wow. Yeah, that's at least one season, if not two seasons worth of.
Oh yeah, that's a good amount of cordwood. So yeah,
Yeah.
the for those listening here again, thanks for staying with us this long, even though you can't see anything. So you're real troopers. We're walking into a sauna here, and it's basically two walls of cordwood that has been chopped and stacked on either side. So again, for all the wood burners out there, I think they would appreciate this picture. So make sure you're checking this out on YouTube or wherever you can get a video content of us.
Looks like feed also from the changing room again. And I don't know what kind of stove they're using. I heard from a Yooper recently, they said like 90% of their wood burning stoves are probably local made,
Yeah,
not by a big company.
yeah. I mean there's some fab guy at a metal shop who probably makes these on the side, and he's like, oh hey, how big do you want it? How big do you want this? And they can probably have a rough design, but he can probably edit it and change it to meet your need. Hey, I want to go through a 2x6 framed wall with the feeder instead of a 2x4 framed wall with the feeder or
Mhm.
whatever that might be. So make sure if you're one of those guys that can do this stuff, reach out to us. We would love to, talk to you. We'd love to feature what you're making in one of these episodes.
Yeah, and Eero, can you read this sign?
Yeah, sauna is a form of pharmacy. Yes.
Perfect.
And big water tank in that one.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it really is a massive, massive thing. Probably
And
a very good steam in that one.
And one thing I've noticed in almost all of these saunas, especially from the UP and northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, these guys are using locally sourced stones. They're probably Lake Superior stones,
Yep.
wherever Lake Michigan stones. A lot of that, is looking to be homegrown there.
Yep. Here's another one near the lake. Which lake this is, but
You can't beat that location. It's heavenly. It
yeah.
really is nice. And
The hammock is a nice touch.
oh yeah, and that those benches or that bench to rest while you are, taking time off from the hot room. That's awesome.
Yep.
And I bet there's a little path that you can go to the water. You can swim
Yep.
there. Very nice. Looks awesome. Oh wow,
This is inside that hot room.
that's
Yep,
a little.
I like that.
Yeah, but it's the how that thing works is a little question mark. It's a little bit questionable because it's the heater is around the corner, kind of. So how do you have to be like you have to be able to throw like the water in an angle, so to speak. But I guess it's just fine.
Yeah, they need to put some little buttons right there. And
Just bring your super soaker in there.
Yeah, so that would be something. Yes.
this is
Wow.
the changing room.
Gorgeous.
Again, I'm a little surprised always how the changing rooms are so small, but that's just the way people want them to be. So it's totally fine.
Well, it's maybe one of those trends that we can encourage people to consider larger changing rooms.
Yeah, yeah. If you have the space.
Yeah, in that case, that guy, whoever built this, absolutely had, a little bit of freedom to do whatever they wanted. So I would say, yeah, if you've got the means, make your changing room, able to be a changing room. Don't just have it be where you throw your towel down on a bench. Be able to go in there, spread out, move around a little bit. Even having a seating area in there where a few people can sit down and alternate. Let's say you do all of a sudden you send out a text to that buddy group and they, all want a sauna. Well, hey, we can fit 4 to 5 people comfortably in here. Okay. And I just got a dozen responses. So, that changing room may need to kind of double as a waiting room. Hey, the next round is on deck. And if you're all just kind of waiting there online, stacked up against the door like a couple of Navy SEALs, it's not going to be the most comfortable. So maybe think about that when you're hosting. Again, the lovely outdoor setting is going to be great for a lot of the time you're enjoying, that setting. But I got to imagine, UP, it's winter, what, 9 months out of the year up there? Sitting on that outside deck waiting for somebody to get out of the hot room might be a little chilly.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. When it's raining cats and dogs, you don't want to go out there sitting there, or even sometimes when obviously that could be on ice, that lake, and then there's no, necessarily no swimming there at that point. So you just want to hang out somewhere before you go back in, and that would be your changing room.
Yep. Well, maybe let's do one more. Let me quick look. All right, here we go. Let's look at one last one.
Nice. So nice big backyard. The sauna looks a little kind of out there on its own, but hey, you've got looks like a volleyball net or
Yep.
volleyball court potentially
Yes.
to the side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of room, plenty of room.
Looks like they have maybe a seating area off to the side a bit with a wood stack over by the fence.
Yeah, maybe a grill.
Here's a little close-up view. Looks like you can get into the water from this one.
Yeah, so this is
Oh, yeah.
definitely on a lake or inlet.
Oh, that's good.
The exterior of the sauna definitely has seen some weather. So that is a UP exterior. That thing has seen a few winters, and you can tell. So there's cinder blocks that are just stacked up on top of each other as a smokestack.
Yep.
Looks pretty DIY.
And you can see, and so here's inside the hot room.
Excellent.
That bench is pretty close to the heater, but obviously it's got the bricks there, in the middle. But it's just like you're sitting. If you're at that end of the bench, you're sitting very close to the heater. But I guess that's not a problem. Do we know if there's a code in the UP that how close to the water you can build uh, your sauna?
Probably, yep.
Yeah, because it's like, and obviously, I mean, the lake probably is going to flood and something, so you can't bring it right next to or you have to raise it up,
Hmm.
if that was the case. But it's close enough. It's close enough.
Yeah.
This looks a little like my aunt's sauna in the Finnish archipelago. It's got kind of the same setup, not the brick partition between the heater and the bench, but it's like you cannot sit right next to the heater. So basically you have only one half of the bench available for use because you
Yep.
can't. Otherwise you're going to rest your legs on your feet on the rocks, which is a no go.
Right. I
Yeah.
do like the consideration taken here, though. It feels like they've really tried to create a barrier between the stove and the user with a brick surround. So I got to imagine the amount of radiant heat is minimized in a setup like this.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yes, it's kind of a small sauna. It could be, a little wider, basically. Looking at this, yeah, no, I guess it's fine.
It's not super huge, but you could probably fit a good amount of people along that bench.
Two or three, and then if somebody wanted to kind of maybe put their feet down the length of the bench too over there, that would work.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep, they've got water in the hot room, and looks like the cement block goes up a bit so they can use quite a bit of water to wash down in there.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
great homegrown sauna. I think this is somebody, at least they were caring for what they thought were the essentials.
Yep.
yeah.
And it
It's
just goes to show everyone there's more than one way to build a sauna, and it's okay to come up with your own way of doing it. All of these have looked unique and are different, and probably each one of them has broken some cardinal rule of sauna building, but that's okay. At its heart, sauna is a hack that people just put together. In the age of go out and buy a $30,000 kit that has super high end wood from really like thermal treated super high end wood, there still needs to be a place for these kind of things where you just put it together how you were able to.
Yep, I agreed. Because as soon as we lose the ability to put a couple of pieces of wood together and build a sauna, that then I shudder because this is not rocket science, people. You can build yourself a sauna. If you can put a piece of nail through a piece of wood, you can build a sauna. It is not that hard. So by all means, take a chance, watch some YouTube videos, a couple $100 of tools, and you're off and running. And
Yeah.
again, there's going to be an investment. But hey, it's wood. You can go get another piece and you can cut another piece. There's going to be extras.
Yeah. One last thing on this one. I thought this was a different place here. It is a different sauna, but it's at the same place. This is their electric one inside.
So their indoor sauna, very
uh,
cool.
there's it's hard to say about the bench heights if those are fine, but this person might have Finnish or Nordic or Scandinavian roots because if you look at the rug on the floor, at the
Oh, yeah.
dressing room. That's a very traditional Nordic rug, very, very traditional Nordic rug. So it may, that could be handmade as well, by the person, who built the sauna.
Yep.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny enough. Like you can't really tell, but in this case, the heater is quite far away compared to the previous sauna, where the heater was very close to.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably get more people in their indoor sauna than you can their outdoor one.
Right. But it's pretty common up there to have an electric one indoors that's pretty nice actually and very
Hmm.
functional, and then a wood burning one outdoor as well.
That's the dream.
That is the dream. Talking about the dream, we have to wrap up now because I have to get ready for my sauna.
All right.
We're very jealous, Eero. Yeah, take some pictures and let us see what what views you can really get out there. And we're just happy to have everybody join us today for another edition of Hey, let's take a look at some Yooper saunas. So always one of my favorites. We're going to continue to do this, and if you want us to review your sauna, make sure you're getting pictures. Send them to us. We'd love to review your sauna, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Till next time.
All right. Bye.
Thanks.